Rika is an interesting one. There's a lot of mystery surrounding her character, particularly towards the end. I'm willing to bet that these mysteries are going to be answered in Season 2 though. I don't think I'm really in a position to form an opinion on her until I see the second season. Well, that's assuming I make it out of this situation alive at all to see it. If I'm gonna watch Season 2, I have to make it out of this predicament first. However, the mysteries surrounding her are a good motivation to get people watching the second season. I will say for now that I did very much enjoy her character, and I am looking forward to learning more about her. If I get the chance to. I suppose some will want me to talk about Detective Oishi, but there's really not much to say. All he really does is serve the purpose of describing what happened in the crimes to the characters, and it's more or less exactly the same thing each time. He's a good guy, sure, but there's not really a lot to say on his character. Now, on to the moment that I'm sure everybody's been eagerly awaiting to hear my thoughts on. The dubbing. Higurashi is notorious for having a terrible English dub. And it's clear to see why. For one thing, you've got Grant George doing the voice of Keiichi, and it's through watching this series that I finally figured out what my problem with Grant George is. He sounds like he's stoned all the time. Whatever role he does, whether it's a cocky, arrogant king, a noble warrior of light, or just your average teenage boy, he sounds high as a kite. It's really hard to connect to a character he's voicing because they all sound like they're stoned up to their eyeballs. But Grant George isn't the only problem with this dub. However, I do have to wonder if the problem with this English dub is in the voice direction rather than the voice acting. There are certain scenes in the anime where characters are going absolutely crazy, losing whatever shred of sanity they had left. However, the tone of voice never matches the character's expression. I've heard what Japanese actors are like during scenes like that and how absolutely nuts they go. They scream so hard it's a wonder if their vocal cords survive the experience, but it honestly gets across that they're going insane. However, with Higurashi's dub, the voices never sound more than just being slightly angry. But again, I don't know if that's the fault of the voice actors or the voice direction. I've heard English dubs where the actors have gone as insane as the Japanese actors did, and in fact more so in some cases. During some of the calmer scenes, the voice acting is actually alright, and there were some voices that I actually enjoyed. One such case being Detective Oishi's voice. I thought it was very well done. So I personally think the faults of the English dub might not be entirely the fault of the voice actors, but rather the voice direction. But that's a topic up for debate. Apparently the studio that originally dubbed it has since lost the license, which is why Season 2 never got dubbed. But then again, that might actually be for the best because of how the dub did turn out. Personally, I would love it if another dubbing company picked up the license to Higurashi and redubbed it, this time giving it the dub that it deserves. Though that's probably wishful thinking, and it's unlikely to happen. As such, Season 2 remains undubbed to this day. So anyway, that's what I thought on Higurashi. I thought it was very well done, but I wouldn't recommend it to my younger audience. For my older viewers, however, who haven't seen it yet, I do honestly recommend checking it out. But a fair warning though, it is very gory, and some factors about the plot are going to confuse you at first, but it will all gradually make sense as time goes on, so just stick with it. Anyway, everything from here on out is going to be entirely plot-based, so if you only came to see the review, you might as well leave now, because honestly it's going to get pretty cringe-worthy. Okay, still no sign of Takeya. I can only take that to mean he hasn't found Emma yet. What am I gonna do? Ugh. If I hadn't stuck my nose in this whole affair to begin with, none of this would have happened. I just had to play the hero, didn't I? Now look where it's gotten me.
But that's the kind of person KHF is.
But it's because I'm that person that got you killed, Ren.
Ren doesn't blame KHF for what happened.
That's just what my conscience wants to believe.
KHF is a gentlemanly hero. When Ren was with him, she felt happy.
So then, what did you feel when you were with Takeya?
Ren felt empty and alone. Even when she was by his side, she felt like she's on her own in the universe.
That doesn't surprise me with Takeya.
But because Ren didn't understand feelings, she thought that they were just normal feelings. When she met KHF, she realized what happiness was for the first time in her life.
But meeting me ultimately led to your demise.
But you only had Ren's best interests in mind.
I always have people's best interests in mind, but I always end up screwing up. I couldn't protect you. I couldn't protect her. And now even Emma's going to suffer because of me.
The KHF Ren knew never gave up.
Ren, I got you killed! I loved you and I got you killed! And now I let Takeya escape! I've tried my hardest to honour your memory, but I just keep screwing up!
But giving up and running away from that isn't the way to honor Ren's memory either.
But...
A man must face up to his problems, he used to say. A man never runs away from his duty.
Yeah, I guess I did.
But what exactly have you been doing this whole time?
I guess the whole reason I took on this new persona, the whole reason I was trying to keep Emma out of all of this was because I was running away. I guess I thought if I distanced myself enough from them, the mistakes of my past would just go away. But that's not true. The past is always going to be there, and I just need to learn to live with it.
That sounds like the KHF friend knows.
I suppose I'm never going to be reunited with the person I care about more than anybody else if I just sit around here feeling sorry for myself. I know he would have never done that.
That's correct.
And I'll face it as my true self. I've had enough pretending, enough being weak. I'll conquer my past, I'll find my future, and I will succeed. No more self-doubt. I have faith in the person I am. I am KHF McAwesome, and I will save my assistant.
Run like the wind and be proud.
Alrighty then. First I need to figure out how to free myself from this predicament. That device is draining my mana, but maybe if I send another energy source into it, it will overload its systems and corrupt it, forcing it to shut down. Well, I can think of only one thing that fits this bill. Right. I need to concentrate. Oh, I am brilliant. Kunai. I've always had a weakness for these little fellows. Right, no time to be praising a blade. I've got to save my assistant. Don't worry, Emma, I'm coming to save you, so there's no need to use that same voice clip over and over again. But first... that feels better. It's so good to be able to see clearly again. Right, time to play the hero. Oh, hey, Kay. I see you're wearing your glasses again. Where the heck have you been? You were cross-dressing again, weren't you? Maybe. Look, sooner or later you're going to have to tell Sarah that you're not her biological sister. Or even her sister at all, for that matter. You're going to have to tell her that she was an only child. Hey, that girl lost everything. Excuse me for trying to do what's best for her. Which involves cross-dressing. Anyway, why are you acting normal again? Right. I'll explain that later. Right now we need to save Emma. Let's move, Strife! I missed this, Kay. Alright, Sprite. It's time for you to come with me.
Sis! Kay! Anybody! Help me!
Takeya, step away from my assistant.
Kay! You're alright!
I guess I should have realised you'd find some way of wiggling free. Well, it wasn't really all that hard. After all, your way of holding me there was paper thin. As for why it took me so long to break free, well, what can I say, old chap? I was enjoying the anime you left me to watch too much. I see you're finally acting like your normal self again. Good. I'd much rather kill the real you than some phony persona you put on.
Kay, I'm so glad you're safe.
I'm truly glad you're unharmed as well, Emma.
But why are you wearing glasses? And why are you talking like a butler?
This is the real KHF, Emma.
Come again?
There'll be time to explain later. Right now we need to take care of the big bad raging bull over here. You act like my rage is unjustified, KHF. You act like I'm the villain in this story.
You are the villain, Takeya.
Really? KHF's the one who tore the woman I love away from me! If you truly loved her, you would have treated her with even a shred of respect. But you didn't. You didn't love her, Takeya. Your tiny black heart is incapable of feeling love. The only reason you think that you loved her is because you felt what I do. Shut up! Don't you tell me how I felt! Not only did you take her away from me, but you killed her as well! You're just as responsible as I am in that, Takeya. We don't know whose attack killed her. What do you mean I don't know whose attack it was? She told me! There's nobody there, Takeya. Your hatred has made you delusional. When I was locked away in that nexus you sealed me in, all I could think about was this day, this moment! How ironic it is that you're the one who gave me the means to break free. What do you mean? Don't you get it? Weren't you the one who was just talking about our connection? Didn't you think it was odd that I broke free after you finished watching Love Hina, an anime that got you angrier than any other? It was your rage towards that show that gave me the strength I needed to escape, KHF. It was your hatred that fueled me. You talk about rising above hate, and yet you let your own heart fall victim to it. I don't believe it. Don't you get it now? Compassion and empathy are worthless. It's only hatred that truly defines us. You're wrong, Takeya. You've always had it wrong. Yes, hatred may exist within all of our hearts, but it's through rising above it and moving on past it that we progress. Listen to yourself. You're truly pathetic. This final battle sure does have a lot of talking.
You're telling me.
I knew if I was going to take you down this time I'd need an advantage. I'd need some kind of weakness to exploit. A way to make you embrace hatred. What are you talking about? You've hidden it so well. But I know now, KHF. I know how to tear apart your heart. I know about your wife and son. Crap.
Wait, what?